guys, Peter Von Panda here. Just want to do a little customization and protection on my newly acquired AR. So I'm heading up here to A&S Arms up in Antioch, Illinois, because they can do Cerakoting. And so I am going to drop it off here and have them do their magic on it and take a look at it. So I'm almost up here, but Antioch, Illinois, about an hour and a half north of the Chicago area up by the Wisconsin border. What's up, kids? Peter Von Panda here. Hey, got a call from Sean at A&S Arms up in Antioch. The gun was just finished Cerakoting. So, of course, despite me having a lot of things to do, you can't help but get excited and want to go up and check it out. So I thought I'd give you a quick look here. Sean is a factory-trained Cerakoter, and so I don't know that they have like official authorized Cerakoters, but you want to find someone who does a lot of these, and he certainly does. You can check out A&S Arms on Facebook, Antioch, Illinois. He's got a lot of pictures of stuff he does. Mine didn't make the cut, though. But as you know, I like this gun. It was a cheap gun. It was my first AR. It's my only AR currently. But I've realized too, I want to make a comment here. I haven't had a lot of guns in my life, but it's kind of like being into cars. If you're into cars, you want to have a unique one, you want to personalize it, you want to do a lot of things. This is kind of actually a cheaper way to get into like sports cars. So anyway, guns are kind of like the custom car scene. So it looks great, burnt bronze. My lighting isn't perfect here, but it has kind of that old antique copper type of look. I just think it's great. It's still dark. It doesn't scream like, a neon paint job. At a glance at a gun range, you might see that it's a little different, but is more subtle than silver. I think if I do another one, it would be silver. And a couple things I want to mention here in what I've noticed is, first of all, they sandblast it. I don't know that you have to, but it's recommended. And so that's actually rounded the edges a little bit for me. It's a more comfortable overall, and I've noticed that some of the sharper edges are just a little bit more comfortable to hold. As you know, I had a problem with the barrel, and as you can see through the Keymod holes there, that is a stainless steel barrel. So I ordered a 223 Wylde stainless steel barrel. I stayed with the 16-inch. I thought about going other lengths, but I thought, this is a good, nice length. The cool thing is it's with a 15-inch rail. It kind of ends at the same level, so you just have the muzzle brake for the most part popping out. It's a new muzzle brake because I couldn't actually get the old muzzle brake off. My working theory right now is that it was red Loctite put on the muzzle brake. So this is just kind of a steel treated black muzzle brake. So I don't expect much out of it, but it looks pretty cool. A little better than the A2 flash hider, and it was pretty cheap. The other thing I will tell you is that I had a little bit of upper and lower wiggle, if you saw my earlier video. I think the Cerakoting, maybe adding a little bit of thickness to the metal, there is none of that anymore. I was actually going to put in my AccuWedge, but I can't. I am really torquing the sucker here, and I can't get it to wiggle at all. So, just that tiny, minor amount of Cerakoting may actually make that much of a difference between kind of filling in some of the gaps at the hinges and the edges where the upper and lower receiver meets, etc., etc. So that's kind of a potential advantage if you have that wiggle. He also Cerakoted the jam nut here to kind of keep that all nice and uniform looking. The other thing I'll tell you is that there are places that wear. I have not even fired this gun yet, but I've gone ahead and greased it and oiled it up and dry fired it. So for instance, I want to show you right here on future guns, and on some guns you have to go with kind of like the full-sized handguard here. But on most, you can go with that slimmer handguard, and that's going to prevent this. But you can see right here on the hinge where the barrel breaks or the receiver pivots, because this is something of a large handguard, the jam nut is rubbing a little bit and polished off the Cerakote. I was actually trying to get my thumb in there, my thumbnail, to see if I could scrape off additional Cerakote, and I can't, so that's a really good sign. But, there are going to be places where the tolerances are so tight you're not going to have any choice but to have polished off. You could probably make some modifications, but like I said, in most cases, some of those slim hand guards and rails are kind of the way to go and would prevent this. The other thing is you could also back off the handguard by a single twist and have that jam nut up a little one thread up higher, but you know, I'm not going to. The other thing I've noticed is that, like a lot of people, where the charging handle goes, and it's going to be a little hard to see, there is the tiniest bit of wear, you know, where it latches in, and then also right where charging handle slams back in to the upper receiver. Again, you know, that's to be expected. But then also here on the top, where my charging handle kind of slides against the top of the receiver, you can see just a little bit of polished surfaces there as well. So not a huge deal, and you know, overall I'm super happy, and I wouldn't try to touch up anything on it. It's just, those are things to keep in mind. But otherwise, even on the inside of the magazine wall here, I was kind of scratching around because I thought, well, if I scratch something, no one will ever see it. But you know what, this Cerakote is really, really durable. The other thing is I learned as I was talking to people is that kind of the amount of hardener will affect how the finish is. So sometimes you can get a more matte finish or a more of a satin finish, and that is kind of related to not only the how much Cerakote you're spraying on in the distance, but also on the amount of hardener. I think actually less hardener will give you more of a shine to it. So if you're doing Cerakoting or looking for someone, check out Sean up at A&S Arms up in Antioch. Awesome job. He told me it would take about 3 weeks to do, and it actually only took about 2.5. So it does take some time. And the other thing I'll tell you here is that I gave him the fully complete rifle. He tore it down, Cerakoted it, and gave back. If you're just bringing in parts to Cerakote, it might be presumably faster and maybe even a little cheaper. A couple things I have here, I showed you in another review, this Bushnell TRS-32 red dot sight. I put this enhanced billet aluminum trigger guard here. I didn't really like that flat one. This has screw-in connectors, and this is something that I might go and get Cerakoted too. But other than that, and then I also threw in a couple of the old Velcro strip trick into the adjustable stock here to take a little bit of the wiggle. It certainly doesn't get rid of it all, but it certainly minimizes it. So that's kind of cool. So I'm looking forward to getting this out to the range. That will be tomorrow. We'll shoot some video of that and I'll get it up. But otherwise, overall, I really like my Carries Guns Reaper. 223 556, but now it's in a 223 Wylde, so pretty excited about it. Like I said, a couple challenges with the gun when I got it, but those should have been addressed. And then I also went ahead and oiled and greased it up. I should have mentioned in my first review, I was showing it to you as I received it, so everything was a little dry and a little hard to get apart, but once you grease it up, things move around. So hopefully it shoots. Peter Von Panda with my new burnt bronze Cerakoted AR-15.